Hey everyone, it's Misha, aka Pink Hat Hiker, here to remind you that if you enjoy these videos, make sure you like this one and don't forget to subscribe. Hey everyone, I promised you that I would do an Airstream pros and cons video. So now that we've had the Caravel for a few months, I thought, what better time to do that? So here we are. First, I just want to start out by telling you our 8-year-old's pros and cons. She was very excited to add to the list. So I told her to give me 2 pros and 2 cons, and I'm just going to pull up my phone because I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. So Adelaide's pros and cons. Her favorite thing about the Airstream is that the dinette turns into her bed. She's been more excited about that than anything else since day one. She also loves that our bed back here is just so comfy, and I will admit that I thought for sure we were going to have to replace the mattress because I've been on other RV mattresses and they just are kind of the worst. This one is so comfortable and I don't see any need to replace it, so we're going to go ahead and keep it. Oh, sorry, she gave me 3 pros and 1 con. So her third favorite thing about this Airstream is the convection oven. She just thinks that it is so cool that the microwave is also an oven and an air fryer. It's the little things. But her biggest complaint is that it feels too small. Our neighbors across the street have a travel trailer as well, only it's probably twice the size of this one. So she sees theirs and thinks that that's the normal size of a trailer, and so she thinks this one's too small, but I think it's just right. Okay, so let's get into the pros and cons as I see them for the Airstream Caravel 22FB. First and foremost, biggest pro, it's an Airstream. Not only do you get the cool factor of owning an Airstream, I mean, all the cool kids have one, right? So not only do you have the cool factor, but also Airstreams retain their value. If you decide you want to upgrade or you need to sell for whatever reason, chances are you're going to get a great value for the sale. And it's kind of like owning a Toyota. Don't tell my husband, he's a Ford guy. Mine and my husband's favorite thing about having a travel trailer as opposed to a traditional RV is that you can tow it wherever you want, drop it, and then take your truck and drive it wherever you need to go. You don't have to worry about driving around some big clunky van or RV. You have the trailer and the truck, and they're 2 separate things. So we really like to go out and explore whenever we go places. So for us, it's the perfect combo. We tow this with a Ford F-150 Tremor. I'm not a Ford, I don't do Fords. That's all Rusty. So he knows all the details and all the specs on that, but I do believe it's a Ford F-150 Tremor. Beyond that, no clue. Another great thing about this Airstream in particular is that it actually comes with quite a bit of storage. Now, con to that, yes, there's a lot of storage. Half of it is super wonky and not very usable. Not for practical use. For instance, one of the storage spaces where we store our pots and pans and we store, actually, do we? Yes. Where we store our pots and pans and extra food and things like that is underneath this cushion right here. So I literally have to take apart this whole part of the banquette here in order to get into the storage below, or there's a tiny door right back here on this wall here at the very bottom that I can also open to get to the storage. It's not my favorite thing. Let me show you. So the storage that I'm talking about is in here. So as you can see, there's one, there's another one back there, but I gotta take this whole thing apart in order to get to it, or there's a door right here. You can see I've got some refried beans in there, but that's, it's not very practical to get to it. The other big storage space is under the bed. In fact, this goes in a bin under the bed, but getting to it, I gotta make sure I lift that, then I can open this, and then there's storage. That is stored back there. And trying to get to it, I gotta take all of this stuff out so that I can get to it. I can also lift this and pull this out that way and then try to pull the box out, but it's not very practical and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Also messes up the bed. So yes, while this model of the Airstream has a ton of storage, again, you've got storage above the bed, you've got storage above the kitchen, you've got storage under the sink, you've got storage under the banquette, storage under the bed, you've got a big old closet, there's some storage in the bathroom as well. Lots of storage. Not all of it is super practical use of space, just because it's hard to access. Another great thing is that Airstream gives you lots of little extras. So for example, all of the Airstreams come with a little whiteboard near the door so you can write little notes or, you know, use it however you'd like. Ours also came with a cutting board over the sink. I know that not all RVs do that. And it also came with a under sink organizer for your forks and knives and spoons and things like that. I will say it's not the best one on the market. I don't love this one, but it came with it, so you know, it's kind of free. I mean, we did pay for it, but you know what I mean. I also think that the Caravel Stream comes with one of the, you know, it's a beautiful kitchen space. Airstreams make some really beautiful kitchens, and I really love the kitchen in this one. So it's a really, really great layout for a kitchen. You've got your refrigerator here, although a con about the refrigerator is that, you know, there's a great little freezer area here, but the con with this is that anything on this shelf is also going to freeze, and anything on this side of the shelf will also freeze. This side tends to not freeze as much, so I don't know if there's a way to reduce the temperature in there, but things are going to stay extra, extra cold. The stove is gorgeous. I don't have it set up right now because, as you can see, I've got some damage to it. All here, it's done some damage here because the stove toppers, they are supposed to go into these little holes here and stay put while you're traveling. Only they don't. And they come out and they've caused quite a bit of damage to the kitchen area, so I've started storing them underneath the bed. I also really like the farmhouse style sink, stainless steel sink. But I will say, for as gorgeous as this kitchen is, it doesn't have a whole lot of places to make food. Yes, the counter space in the kitchen is extremely limited. If you need to use the sink while you're cooking, you don't have that cutting board out, you lose all of that space. And for us, we usually have Adelaide with us, which means that this area is typically turned into a bed. And that doesn't leave much counter space. In fact, the only real counter space I have to work with when I'm cooking is the tiny little space above the refrigerator right in front of the TV where the camera is right now. If I could change one thing about this trailer, it wouldn't be the storage, it would be the amount of counter space. Another thing I really love about this trailer, which right now is not the best way to highlight that just because of where the sun is at in the sky, but this trailer does typically get a ton of natural light, which I love. I've seen some other videos where people complain about there not being enough natural light. I don't know what they're talking about. To me, this is great. I've been in other trailers that seem very, very dark. This feels nothing like that. Everything's bright and airy, and it's very inviting, and that's really great. It does have a lot of windows, so you've got one window here, you've got the panel of windows in the back, there's two windows to either side back here as well, and then you've got two small windows over the sink, and then a window in the bathroom. Yes, the whole bathroom has a window, and it's pretty freaking awesome. One thing I have heard though about the windows is that they can be difficult to pop open. Now, we've only opened them a couple of times and we haven't had any issues with that. Now, it's currently February, we got it in November, so it has been cold on a lot of our travels, and that's why we haven't opened them that often. But the times that we have, we've had no problems just pushing them right out. However, at the dealership, they did tell us that that can be an issue and that you can use a key or a credit card to sort of break the seal around, and then that'll help you push it open. Another YouTuber who was talking sort of about the things that they didn't like on their Airstream mentioned the windows as well, and they said that they use like a suction cup. They suction to it and then pull, and that's how they get theirs open. So, you know, if you have issues with the windows, there are definitely tricks that you can do to make it easier to get them open. I just can't say that I have dealt with that at this point. One of my most favorite things about this Airstream is the size of the bathroom. Now, I have been in other travel trailers where the bathroom is so small. There's no sink in the bathroom. You basically use the kitchen sink when you're done doing your business. Or where there's no shower, or the shower and the toilet are in the same compartment. I've never really understood that. I mean, I don't know. For me, that's not a selling point. I'd rather have one or the other at that point. But the bathroom in here, I mean, whew, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Okay, so the bathroom in here is just so cool. I'm gonna open this window. You can see that's my neighborhood. We are actually getting ready to go take this in for its first maintenance, so that's why we have it. But you know, some people might not like the height of the toilet. I personally love it because the space down here kind of works like a squatty potty, if you're familiar with those. You've got some storage here. You've got more storage there. Nice sink. And of course, the shower. Now, I will say, if you use the shower in here, this whole space here will fill up with water, and you have to do that to get all the water off or have a squeegee. So I would definitely recommend having a squeegee. You can pick them up at IKEA for like $1, but really big space. Enough space for maybe 2 people if you're into that. I will say that if you're in the shower, this area down here will leak if the shower door opens just a little bit. So if you do take a shower in there, be mindful of hitting the door, because when I took my first shower, I kept hitting the door and the bottom would open just slightly. I'd close it, no big deal. Didn't think anything of it. When I got out of the shower, I was greeted by a pile of water. Pile of water? And I'm not talking just a little bit of water. It wasn't a little sprinkle here and sprinkle there from falling off the door. No, it was a full-on puddle of water. The whole bathroom was covered in water. And I wasn't in the shower for that long. I'm just not really sure if there is another issue that's causing that. Again, we're taking it in for maintenance this week. That's why I have it here. So there might be something more to that, but it might just be that the door seal, you know, if you knock it just the tiniest bit and it breaks the seal, you're gonna get water all over the place. So keep that in mind. One thing about these trailers is that the dealers sometimes do some of the upgrades. Now, with that in mind, this Airstream was basically built, sent to the dealership, and then the dealership installed certain things. For example, you know, the Bluetooth and I believe the kitchen fan. And so when we got it, it was immaculate, it was great. We got it home, there was sawdust everywhere. Everywhere. And unfortunately, we still, every time we take it out, if we're driving for an hour or more, there's going to be sawdust. So, and we've had this for a few months at this point. So that's more of an annoying thing, you know, the amount of time that everything takes to settle. But the other thing is, like, we've started to notice that some of the rivets are coming out. So I think at this point we've had 4 that have come out, and those are the only ones that I've noticed. Also, there are, I don't think you can see any from this point, from this vantage point, but there are little screw covers, white ones and brown ones, and I have found those all over the trailer after traveling somewhere. So, you know, there are little things, screws. I found random screws that I don't know where they came out of, and I don't know if that's more annoying than anything else, but I do feel like for the amount that you pay for an Airstream, those little things shouldn't be coming out. Especially the rivets, like, that shit should be in there, like, good. Another thing that I know other folks have complained about is how cold the walls get. So in the winter time, it's cold outside, these things aren't insulated that well. So, you know, the bed back here lines the silver walls, and it's cold. So I would suggest that you make sure that there's a buffer between the wall and your skin, whether that's a, you know, a neoprene strip or a pillow or something, you know, especially if there's 2 people in the bed. I make Rusty sleep on that side of the bed. But, you know, you're going to want to make sure that that is insulated, because even if it's warm inside, if it's cold outside, those walls are going to be cold. Speaking of warm inside, man, the furnace on this thing, whew, it gets toasty really fast. So one great thing that I love is that when this thing heats up, it actually retains the heat pretty well. So your furnace isn't going to be constantly running, which is really nice. What we did is we run the furnace and we run a little handy heater, which we got on Amazon, and I'll put the link to that in the description. But we run those and it gets so cozy and it's so great. We love it. So one more thing that I am not a huge fan of is my ring going off during videos. No, is the table. So it's really actually kind of hard to telescope it up and down. Not up, but to get it down into the bed position can be rather difficult. Now, I think this might just be a problem with ours. We have another issue. It's supposed to telescope up and down, but also forward and backward. The forward and backward does not work at all. So again, taking it to maintenance, gonna have them fix it. And I also think there's an issue with the bottom lever for the telescoping feature, up and down telescoping feature, and it just needs to be loosened. So we're going to have them do that as well, and hopefully that'll fix the problem. Some of these issues, some of these cons can be fixed, and other ones you just got to learn to live with. So those are all of the things that we really love and hate about the Airstream. I'm sure there's other things that I'm just not thinking of at the moment. But if you watch my other videos, I'm always talking about the things I love and the things I'm really frustrated with, or the pet peeves that I have. So make sure you watch those other videos so that you never miss out on any of the things I love or hate.